Yo dog, Kenny Boucher here, The Long War. I am not the normal host of the Battle Reports. Juice and Rob will be joining me very shortly for part 3 of Inside the Mind of a Tournament Player. It will be my Chaos Space Marines versus Mike Welsh's Triple CAD Eldar. But before we get into it, this is the home of the Battle Reports. Go to thelongwar.net, try a week for free. Get all your bonus and exclusive and early access to all of our tutorials, videos, and webcasts.
And this last game here of the day is Objectives, 2 Emperor's Will, and 2 Crusades. Take it over, Kenny.
Okay, so my opponent wanted to roll to go first, and obviously he got kind of nervous with his deployment because I actually got the Warlord trait that gives me +1 to seize and reroll reserves. So I'm committed to going second here, and I've learned my lesson from Juice. I didn't juice myself. I didn't even try to roll to seize the initiative.
Yeah, I like that there because you've already spent the time to deploy and to counter some of the things. Don't throw yourself out there for making a mistake after you've already put so much time in it. I like it. And we didn't see him beginning. This is Mike Welsh, is that right? Is that who you're playing?
Yep, this is Mike Welsh.
Mike Welsh, good old friend. I've played him many times at the ATCs. He's been around.
Absolutely, and he always comes down for the events in Aberdeen and stuff. What a great guy.
That's a lot of jet bikes.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 6 squads of jet bikes with scatter lasers.
Yeah, this is the 3 triple CAD Eldar list that you've heard us talk about a little bit before. Spoiler alerts.
He's checking assault range to see if you can get him.
Actually, I think he's not. I think he's actually just looking at like where he needs to be with his psychic powers because he's actually in a psychic power phase and he's thinking about everything because he has 1 billion psychic powers. He has 2 Farseers.
He's got a little book down there.
Oh yeah, 2 Farseers, 2 level 3 Farseers, Eldred and Barazamon. What's his name?
Baharath.
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 So he's got a substantial amount of psychic powers, and he's just thinking about all his options. We have a very engaging game between us because he has a lot of psychics. I have a lot of psychics, so he's really thinking about every option. And he's got a lot of shooting. You both have a lot of moving. But Kenny, I'm surprised to see with the range that he has, how close he is to you. Yeah, I think that I kind of distorted some of his ideas with not seizing the initiative, and I think maybe he thought that's because I was going to play more laid back. Because he saw already had some success already in the tournament. But also, admittedly, he got some really shitty assault moves.
Oh.
And he moved up everything.
He's out in the open right now with them spiders.
He brought all his scatter lasers in to shoot, and he tried to focus fire. And here's something that's important to note. That Molephine in the back left has 1 whole point left. It literally is only alive right now because those warp spiders rolled exactly 3 6s, and one of those had to go to the void shield that is now down.
Oh, the void shield finally came into play.
Yep, and so he rolled literally like a 3 on those spiders to escape me. So he did not get back far enough.
He did not with either of those squads.
Yeah, and I do just want to know, I can see how excited you were because normally it's always move Bellicor first. I can see the first models were moved as you were probably giddy and smiley was that spawn unit going directly at those warp spiders.
Yep, and I have 2 invisibilities. I got 2 invisibilities in this game right now, so I'm putting them both out, dogs and spawn. And I'm banking on long distance fleet charges by my Molephines. And now I'm just moving around, taking the center like you've seen me do many times, building a nice base of operations. And let me just run by real quick. He has 3 units of warp spiders that all have ballistic skill 5 from that formation, I believe.
Oh my goodness. Kenny, I just want to point out before we lost too much, what a great re-rolls on those 10s. You rolled, I think it was a 4 and a 5. You needed the 10. A 9 wouldn't do it. You rolled into a 6. Then the next one, same thing. A 2 and a 4, and you rolled with a 6. Great assault move.
Yes, and that's the thing is like people think they're safe and they're like, oh, well, it's going to be a 10-inch charge. I'll be fine. I'm like, yo, I'll take that chance every day with fleet because it's just it's what it's there for. To take
and
chances.
I liked you took the long charge first, so then the spawns were there to option select to either go backwards or keep going forwards.
Right.
And it's funny. Somebody said something on the channel recently about the way dice were getting rolled. It turns out no matter what you roll the dice, the math, it's multiplying. It's always going to be the same.
Yes. Turns out, statistically speaking, statistics don't matter. You're just rolling dice.
Yeah.
Something important there
dice.
you just saw is actually he failed the hit and run with the warp spiders off of the flesh hounds. So I was able to engage with a nice charge distance. Actually, he moved. He just wasn't thinking about those flesh hounds. He gave me a 6-inch charge on those flesh hounds without thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you, I saw how close he was in the beginning. I was like, whoa, we've seen now, this is the third game in a row, how fast this army truly is. I mean, turn one assaults is not good for as much speed and shooting as he has.
And I think that he was just also relying on hit and run there. I thought he was like, he'll draw me out, get hit and run. He failed it, and that happens. And so here's the powers he's been working every turn. He has a Death Star that is comprised of a Wraith Guard squad with Wraith cannons, and he's got all his little characters in there, and he has the 3+ invulnerable combo on them.
Yeah, Sanctuary and Blessings and all that stuff, yeah. So he's making this unkillable unit even more unkillable.
Yes, and I don't know if he needs to be hyper-focusing all the psychic dice on that, because I'm just not interested in engaging them at this moment. And so he is focused firing on those Maulers right now. He makes short work of them right now with all his firepower.
Puts them both down.
He puts them both down without even flinching.
But slowly, I don't think he's realizing it. You're slowly pinwheeling him into that corner.
Yes. And so basically, and I think that I've confused him with like some of my moves here. Like he's like, oh, these Molothians are a major threat. And actually they're only 125 points. Like I put him out there, I take risk with them because they don't quite matter, when it comes to that.
They have already gotten their points back by getting an 8-man squad of Warp Fighters.
Yes, absolutely. They got me first blood. My spawn were able to crash into a unit of Eldar jet bikes. So anytime you can take out a unit of Eldar jet bikes and a unit of Warp Spiders in one turn is a good turn.
Absolutely, especially when it's on turn 1. Are you kidding me?
Yes. And so obviously he just hit and run that Wraith Guard squad out of combat with those spawn, because he came in on me, he shot me, but I was invisible, I had cover, and he hit and run and he moved to the left. And I think that's a crucial mistake, honestly.
I just wanted to count on that too. With that being that unkillable, why didn't he slingshot himself maybe forward, right in the dead center next to that Soul Grinder and everybody else, and just say, let's do it here.
Weapons.
Honestly, think that the play should have been to just disregard all threats in my army with that Death Star and just come at me.
Yeah.
But it's all about in the way you play. You got to make it seem intimidating. You got to confuse people, and and he just saw these spawns stand up to all that shooting, and I lost one spawn. So I think he's
a little nervous now.
Yeah, he's a little nervous, a little on tilt. And so now, because he also disengaged those spawn, this is the ultimate mistake. He shouldn't have hit and run at all. He should have let me charge him. Because it didn't matter. Because now look, these spawn are going to eat up 2 jet bikes.
2 more jet bikes. And Kenny, I'd like to. It just goes to the testament of your army. I don't think Welsh, because he is a great player. Let me tell you what. Yeah. So this is a little out of his norm, But I just don't think people are used to seeing this style of list. You have no guns in your army. You have no nothing, and chaos is supposed to suck.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I think even he admittedly realized after I've ignored his Death Star 2 turns in a row, I think he's realizing, like, I think he even made the comment during the game that he's like, I think I misplayed that hit and run,
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously I pick up these 2 jetpack units, and obviously I have two massive pieces of luck that have gone in my favor so far. It is the fact that he got bad assault moves on turn 1, and it is the fact that he failed his hit and run on those Warp Spiders, and now those Flesh Hounds got to take a whole turn not getting shot, and they ate up the Warp Spider squad.
Absolutely.
So he's skirting me. He's moving back into that corner over there, and I think that when you see the overhead here again, I think you see I feel like I trapped him. I feel like I trapped him here.
Yeah, he is absolutely, and that's hard to do, considering this is Eldar,
and this is objectives. Like, he's gonna have to break out.
Now, and I would say the most aspect of it that's trapped, the Eldar jet bikes are never trapped. They move literally 1 billion inches, but I can't believe that Death Star is further backwards than it was when it started on the table.
That's not the point of a Death Star.
And actually, and here's a piece, like, I'll give this to my opponent. Like, I don't think he's used to playing the Death Star this way, because his game plan is to get Gate of Infinity, because he has Baharath.
So he doesn't deviate when he lands.
Yes. So I think that his whole game plan is always like, I just gate where I need to be for that turn, and he didn't get it. Like, you don't always get the powers you want, and so he didn't get it. And I think this is probably the first game he didn't get that power this tournament. So I don't think he has. He's too used to moving it around analog,
Gotcha. When you're only moving 6 inches in a fleet, it's a whole lot different than just point and click.
Yeah, I think he's used to getting in there, making them super tough, getting charged, and then running out and shooting people. And for some reason, he's just not doing that to me. And I think it's because he's overvaluing my ability to damage that unit. And I really honestly can't damage it with those powers.
Well, yeah, but it's a kind of an unorthodox list that people aren't quite as familiar with.
Right, and that's
but you have other plays too, regardless.
It's definitely a tactic. I definitely value. It's part of my game plan is the fact that I know I have elements of my army that people are not used to dealing with.
Hey, Kenny, touch base. Bellicor hasn't moved from the center of that table.
Nope,
What's going on?
I have realized that he's afraid to come into charge range of Bellicor. So I've left him on the ground back there, saying that I can move 12 in assault. So I've noticed that he's staying a healthy distance away from Bellicor. I'm leaving him there. He's earning his 350 right now, keeping that Death Star scared.
Absolutely. Now, I did notice in the bottom right corner here, that is a spawn unit running away. Those guys took some fire.
They took all the power from. They got chewed up. They have literally like 3 wounds left in the unit, and they are my linebreaker unit, and they're going to keep scoring linebreaker for the rest of the game.
Nice.
And so obviously I've super boosted my other spawn unit. Like, so what I've done here is I've built a castle in the middle of the table, and every turn I feed him a unit. Now, I don't come in with all units at once and let him hit and run and get behind me. I'm like, here's a spawn unit, and this spawn unit is invisible and has endurance this turn. Good luck. And they're in cover. They're chilling right there. They ate up some warp spiders, and now his Death Star is still there, thinking about having to deal with yet another spawn unit.
Yeah. I see now he did turbo boost top left there for his own line breaker.
I think he's also thinking about that objective behind the fort over there, behind my.
But you've got pink hordes in there, so you're scoring.
He thinks he can just contest it, but he doesn't realize I'm going to wagon wheel. So here's something interesting. He got perfect timing off, and he's hitting me with an Eldritch Storm, the massive version, the level 4 one. And so he does a bunch of wounds. He eats some dudes up, but it just doesn't do as much damage as he wants to because it's still, got him.
He's trying to make the plays.
Really cool power though. Like, way to come in clutch. He saw you bust it up, so really great use of that power.
Yeah, so he's bringing the Death Star in on those spawn right there. Like they're invisible and they have Funeral Pain right now, Fort Funeral Pain right now. So he knows I don't get to take the Funeral Pain against the D weapons, but he comes into combat. He doesn't really hurt me that much. I don't really hurt him that much, and that's all the spawn are trying to do right now. All the spawn are trying to do is make him think about where he wants to put that unit I'm actually afraid of. And also to note real quick, you'll notice that my Warlord has linked up with my Cultist who just came in from reserves last turn. So this is a classic Kenny Boucher chaos
now
tactic.
he's scoring.
So he's linked up with them, giving them his leadership. Also giving them the ability to move faster than they normally would be able to because he has that huge biker base and he can go 12 inches. And this is something you saw me do in the first game where I'm going to use these Cultists to have an objective score unit near the middle of the table. And here's the first time I think you're going to see me do this. I'm going to throw Invisibility, Endurance, and Shroud out, but I'm going to make Invisibility go to the Cultist unit. So Endurance on the spawn, and now the Cultist objective skill unit. So he can literally put 1 billion strength 6 shots on that Cultist unit if he wants, but he has
to go. Yeah, what Invisibility, it makes tough units impossible to kill, but it makes a 50-point unit now. It's going to take 800 points to actually bring that unit down.
Exactly. And so that was kind of my because in the first game against Charlie, he was able to get through my 2+ cover save pretty easily. So I'm like, how about 2+ cover save and you need 6s to hit?
Yep, that'll do. And plus, even if he does, you got your Warlord in there, so their leadership isn't going to be poo-poo.
Exactly. So they definitely can come back from a problem. And that's huge. So now he's definitely dealing with that spawn unit. He's grinding them down. Because now I don't have invisibility on them. All I have is my 4+ Funeral Pain save, and he's grinding me out.
I see you spreading wounds out though.
Yes, and this is something that's frustrating my opponent. Is he has literally an initiative 4 guys, initiative 5 guys, and initiative 6 guys in that combat. So every time he starts at a new initiative step, I start the wound on somebody else.
So dirty. Love it.
So he hit and run out again, and I think this is ultimately where Welsh's game plan is going to break down. He has 2 jet bike units in the bottom left, 1 on his home base. He's got 1 top left, and I still have that unit of spawn. Still has 3 spawn. They're wounded, and the other sorcerer, and he's realizing that he cannot let them live because I'm just going to come back to his base objective and GG those other jet bikes. Mm-hmm. So he honestly, in my opinion, at this moment is realizing this game cannot end on turn 5 if he's going to win. So
I see. Yeah, so this guy's on the left.
Yeah. Like those spawn right there in that building, right by that Death Star. They will come back and get his base.
Yeah. He's got to commit to kill those spawn, and one of the only things that's taken that 1,000-point or however many point Death Star 2 turns still hasn't done it.
Yes, and he's realizing look at all the psychic powers he has. Look at
he's got a buffet of psychic powers.
He is, and he's looking, he's digging deep. He's like, do I have something in here that's gonna work? I mean, what do I got? And, you know, obviously he's got those jet bikes up there. He's realizing that he needs to keep them alive for line breaker because he's not going to be able to score my base objective because I'm going second. I can sling those flesh hounds back to those bikes. I can do anything I want with those, you know, against those bikes in the top field. So obviously he's going to shoot all his D weapons at my spawn. I don't get feel no pain against this, but I do get cover. You know, he's going to do work on me, you know, but ultimately, you know, he's got to make those moves. You know, he's got to
come back one more time.
He's got to come back one more time, even though he wants to kill everything in the center. And he's realizing he should have made a play for the center 2 turns ago. He's like, well, I need to stop these guys from killing my jet bikes. I have to move all my jet bikes on all these objectives. And hopefully nobody makes a charge on these jet bikes, you know? As you can see, he's going to come in, charge me.
But you got those hounds right there.
Yes. But even then, those hounds don't have, they have a failable charge, you know? Like, but, you know, flesh, and they're look how spread out my flesh hounds are too. Like, they're not all going to get into that combat.
No.
You know, so he's banking on the concept that, like, you know, also he's got
turn 6.
He's got 1 warp spider on that objective too in front. 1 last survivor. So he's got to go turn 6. He knows it. So, you know, he's rolling out his assault phase. He's realizing, damn it, I can't kill these spawn. You know, because his Death Star is a shooting Death Star.
Hey, Kenny, I got a question. This is turn 5 in a tournament final round. And there's a lot of dice being rolled. How much time is left?
We have enough time to go to turn 6 if I play fast.
Okay.
And so obviously I always play fast. So I'm moving my pieces around, going quicker, and I'm doing my best. It's like, yo, Welsh, I'm gonna get us to that dice roll. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get us to that dice roll.
Yeah, that's a great competitor right there. That's what we try to. That's what we talk about at the Long War, man. Like,
even though you could be like, yo, Welsh has been, you know, he's playing Eldar, he's taking the majority of the time, but I'm still gonna do him a solid.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, so check this out. He blocked one of my invisibilities, and I failed the other. I have no powers on the field right now.
Oh, this is the first time, and this is
potentially a problem because he can come at me. He can get that Death Star to combat. He can go after the center. So check this out. Here's my charges. Turned into a 12-inch charge with the Soul Grinder.
Oh my god!
And here are the Flesh Hounds right here, converted to like a 10. It was like literally a 3.
You rolled a 6 and a 1, converted, picked up that 1, and turned it into a 6 for a 12-inch charge.
So I got everything.
Love it.
So he didn't see this coming. So he's like, even though I have no powers up, I'm about to take out his objective skew unit right there. And I'm feeling a lot better because now he also has to think about going left and center. And if he leaves those spawn alive again, they can still come back to his objective. Like at this moment, I'm feeling like no matter what happens, it's a master play. I've wagon wheeled the top objective. I've taken the center objective, and the game did unfortunately end on turn 5 for my opponent. So none of it really mattered, and here he is, good old Mike Welsh.
Good old Mike Welsh. Absolutely. Wait for it. Is it?
Oh, he's so thug life.
Oh, the setup. Nice.
Absolutely love it. Kenny, great job, man. What a great event. If I'm not mistaken, it broke down. You took first at this. Just let everybody know. Great friend of the show, Lucas Sutherland, took second, and I squeaked in third. All 3 of us were undefeated. High scoring undefeateds. And what a great event.
I was able to pull out just enough battle points, I guess, to maintain my lead. But sometimes, you know, I'm just grateful to get a victory against an Eldar player twice by confusing him with some chaos tactics. And I guess we can use this segment to maybe break down some of the things like we talk about, like list flexibility, some of the things that I think happened to Mike Welsh in that game. And I think one of them is, I think scat bikes. I think they are a new thing for Eldar players, and I think they get Eldar players in trouble because they're trying to alpha strike with them.
Well, yeah. Well, basically, what's made a 51-point Eldar jet bike so good is the fact that they're not on the table, guys.
Yeah,
they're not like in the game plane of shooting. They're in the back. So to be honest, I guess if you're looking at it, let them be on the board, because the second that they're on the board, we get a chance to interact with them.
Yes.
What the killer part was back in the day is they would hold them off on reserve, and then all of a sudden here they are, and they move 60 inches. And we have nothing to do. The firepower that they can put out is really deadly. But again, there's cover saves. They don't ignore cover.
The Eldar, the power of Eldar is going second comfortably, and scatter laser jet bikes are making Eldar players want to go first.
Yep.
And that is not Eldar are almost impossible, as you've seen it since in the first game, almost impossible to beat if they go second. And so now he's like, I got all these warp spiders. I got 1 billion strength 6 scatter laser shots. I want to go first in as many games as I can because I just want to obliterate my opponent, you know? And I think that's kind of the trap that Climactic fell into. But I'm not going to also dismiss his skills or his abilities. There's a little bit of luck involved. He did not get his combo that he planned for, which is something we also talk about on the podcast. You have to make game plans.
That's your pregame.
In case your ultimate combo doesn't go off, you have to learn how to win with your army with the worst combo. And he didn't get Gate of Infinity, so he had the worst combo.
Also, did you feel that playing against the two very different, in my opinion, types of Eldar players, Charlie round 1 and then obviously Welsh here in the beginning or at the end, is there the complexity, I would say, of Charlie's army? Is there a different play style when you're playing against it versus, not saying that Welsh just wasn't because of how big the psychic phase was, but he had 3 or 4 units that redundancy built in with firepower and a big Death Star that kind of moved around.
It was easier, even though on paper I think Welsh's list is a stronger overall competitive tournament army. I think that I have enough experience with those classic units in another army that I have so many game plans already built in my mind. Like, I know that if I see warp spiders, I have to put myself out there to get them. I know if I see a jump bike unit, I have to get it. The thing with Charlie's army is he had things I'd never seen before. So that made me have to think, come up with new plans during the game. And as we've talked about with 48 pre-gaming and list flexibility, thankfully my list was flexible enough to deal with the new challenge. But I could have very easily lost that game too because there was a challenge I didn't expect to see.
Yep, absolutely. And I feel like we wouldn't be doing everybody at home justice unless we kind of broke it down just for a quick second. Let me, Kenny, run you down a quick Q&A. Does your list have a bunch of speed?
My list is fast.
So you can react, not counter deploy or anything else. You can react to something your opponent is doing.
Correct. And I would say speed, because when 2 out of 3 deployment types puts you super far away from your opponent, speed is probably one of the most important elements to being flexible.
And now, Kenny, we know that when you go to a tournament to do your best, you have to know your army inside and out. Obviously, we all would agree, but do you think there's probably nothing about the Chaos Army, your army that you're running, that you don't know inside and out?
Correct. The only thing occasionally I have to look up is if it's been a couple weeks or a couple months since my last tournament, sometimes I have to look up the mutation table for my spawn.
Yep. So this is exactly what we preach. When you get into your beach laboratory, you don't also know your list. You know what your opponent, what your list does to different opponents. You do have built-in redundancies. You do have built-in plays, keeping whatever your game plan is, which is move forward, be tactical, stuff like that. You have the ability to keep them alive, whether it's cover save, psychic abilities, whatnot. Overall, Kenny, solid golf clap. Way to take a lesser codex and turn it into such a powerful juggernaut.
I truly appreciate that, guys.
Absolutely. Well, guys, this is it. What a great, fun little 30 to 25-minute clips, man. We got to start doing this more often. Spoiler alert, maybe after the first of the year, we will have another 3-part series just like this coming to you, in addition to Robbie B and I throwing it down.
No doubt. Can't wait.
Absolutely. As we already know, go over to longwar.net and become a veteran of the Long War today.